I am on a mission to help you live a happier and healthier life. I am here to bring education to the world about the water that we drink, about the waters that are polluting our body, and help people find solutions. Solutions to bring to the body a healthy state, to help you drink the water that your body deserves, the water that will create the right environment in your body to thrive in health. I am here to bring awareness of what is that is possible causing you
And I like
sickness,
it because it says already
low energy. This water right here, it's living water. And this water is helping the world to come back to themselves, to return to origin, to help our bodies to do what they are meant to do naturally. Heal itself, repair itself.
thicker. However, you can
I am on a mission to help you live a happy
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ancestral Constellation and to the Quantum Reel. We are here today and we're gathering to basically do a little bit of healing, help other people, elevate and activate ourselves in some way. And we are gathered here today as a collective working to support each other. So I see that we have a few people in the studio in the background in the waiting room that are here to support us today. If you are watching us right now live, thank you for joining. You can also join on the other link and you can come into the studio, which is the background of it all, and come on and do the healing with us. So I have Nadia in the background. I have Ronique in the background. We're waiting for a couple more. People said they're going to jump on. So I'm so excited to be here. If it's your first time with us, we're going to be talking a little bit about ancestral constellation and how we are all connected with each other, especially your ancestors. Your ancestors are your direct connection. So if you want to think about it or have a visual image about it, it's basically like having umbilical cords connected to the closest people around you. So it would be like your children, your parents. Those are some direct connections throughout your DNA. And then we have further ancestors, and we also have the people that are in indirect family members, our friends, even just people that we meet along the way. Even someone, if you met them today, they're also entangled in you in some way. They are put along your path for some reason, and they're there to help you or support you. And it can come off as a light way, or it can come off as a pain in the ass way. But both ways are there to activate you in some way. So for Ancestral Constellation, what we do now is how this game works is that each person is going to play a player in another person's movie. And each of us will get a chance to be the main character of the movie, and we'll also get to play sub-characters in this movie as well. And what we're going to do is we will feel the feelings, we will feel the emotions, and we will just be able to just talk. And whatever we're saying for some reason, whatever we're feeling for some reason, makes sense to the person who we are representing. So, for example, if someone is on here and they say, "Oh, you know what, Bianca, I'm having some problems in my relationships," and we could say, "Okay, all right, you want to share a little bit more about it?" And they could say, "Well, for some reason, every guy that I find has mommy issues. Every guy I find has mommy issues. They put their mom first, or they put their mom before me, or if their mom says jump, they say how high, and they're just really, really dedicated to their mom." And we could say, "Okay, well, let's dive in." And what we'll do is we can have one of our people in our studio in the background. They would play the mom's role, and whatever is they're feeling, because then all of a sudden, for some reason, the universe, I keep saying for some reason, it's not really for some reason. I mean, perfectly placed. The universe starts to do things for that person to mimic, to explain, to express the energy that was being held by the mom in that movie that we are talking about. Maybe the universe all of a sudden will start to have your kids come in, and your kids start to talk to you, and the way you speak to your kids makes sense. Putting your kids always before you. I don't know, right? The universe will let it play how it needs to play out. And what we're going to do is we're going to solve, or lighten the energy that's there between that person and the boyfriends that they keep finding. So it's all about helping you tonight. So I see that we do have some people watching us. Hi and welcome. Welcome to the quantum realm. We're also going to be diving a little bit into quantum jumping or quantum leaping. It is an amazing healing or activating or aligning modality. And it's basically just envisioning or visiting yourself in the future, and having a good old talk with that future version of yourself. What does the future version of yourself look like? How does she feel? How does he speak? Who is in his life? But really examining the life of yourself in the future. There's a story and about a gentleman. He's pretty famous now. He's written a lot of books, and he's very big in the spiritual world. He speaks a lot about quantum leaping, and he says that he quantum leaped into his future self, and in his future self there he had written a book, and so he was asking his future self lots of questions about this book. What was this book on? How did you know about it? How did you find out about it? How did you learn about it? And he was answering all the questions. The future version of himself was answering all the questions. And then the guy came back, out of his meditation or hypnosis or his travels, back into the current life, the current timeline, and he ended up writing all these books. And he's very, very famous. He's a millionaire now because of all of his quantum leaping and how he visited himself in the future. So I'm going to bring in a few people into the room right now. I'm going to have Nadia and Ronika are going to get to come in, and we'll just talk to them a little bit about their healing journey. Where they're at in their healing journey from where they were before, and just get a little bit of an idea of what happens when we decide to heal, like what really happens when we decide to heal, and how does that change who you are, because it is a journey. So let's welcome in Nadia. Hi, Nadia. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome. I love your animal print.
Yes.
Nice. Nice. It was a hot day today, though.
Yeah, but I just got nippy this evening.
Yeah, that's France for you.
I know.
So tell us a little bit about your healing journey. Like when do you, if you could pinpoint a moment where you started your journey, like, when you started healing?
Well, there's two different things. I always was in I guess before it was called self-development.
Mm-hmm.
Or in my 20s, I'd read a lot of self-development books, and I'd read about, your thoughts become things, and, all this kind of the spiritual aspect of it, but I couldn't actually grasp it.
Okay.
Because I could read the book, I could read the sentences, and understand what they're saying and believe it, but I was thinking too far ahead. Like I was thinking too mathematically about it. Like one
Logical.
plus one doesn't equal two. Yeah, it was too. I was too much in my head about it.
Yeah.
And then I would say I started healing realistically, possibly about 2 years ago. Um, just because nothing made sense anymore, but it was still working out. Like
Yeah.
things were like kind of crashing around you, but good was still happening, and I could start seeing how the bad led to the better, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Mm.
you started like having a mind shift.
Yeah,
You
but I had
started
to
stop
go like
looking
a
at things so
spiral.
logical, because when
Hmm.
you look at something logical, in the logical, it's funny because when we look at things logically, it's like we're looking at things through past eyes, right? We're looking
Hmm.
at it through our past experiences. It's the
Hmm.
logical side of our mind. It's the ego. It's what
Exactly.
wants 1 + 1 to equal 2, right? But
Hmm.
then the soul would be like, what exactly is one?
Mm,
It would ask the deeper questions into the logic.
for
um,
sure.
and 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 I think the most important thing is when we're starting our spiritual journey is just question everything.
Yeah,
It's so important to question everything.
but
And
not
then
too much also. Yeah, because then I have to do.
yeah,
Then you get lost in a lot in the theory of it. Like, how does it work? Why does it work? Is it working? It took 5 minutes one time. Why is it taking 6 months? It's, I guess,
the
depends how you
balance.
question it. Yeah.
Yeah, the balance. And then also when we do tend to question things, what happens is, like you said, we can go down rabbit holes after rabbit holes after
Mhm.
rabbit holes. But then it takes, I don't know how many years it took you from your 20s to your
2. I'm joking.
to your
That took a
self,
couple of years.
yeah,
Yeah.
to your mind shift, right? Because
Mhm.
then the mind shift, what happens is when you question something, the logical mind is not there anymore. Well,
Mhm.
it's there, it doesn't technically go away, but the spiritual mind is there, and the questions kind of turn into motivational ways, right? We don't have
Mhm.
to get such a answers that we're asking for. It's
Yeah.
different. So
Me trusting myself more.
so how does your mind work now? Like,
Now I think I'm crazy, but it's all good.
it's the best kind of crazy.
Yes, a good crazy, because I'm like, I guess I compare it to my previous self compared to now, and I'm like, we would be freaking out right now, but you're good. So it's right now, just accept things as they come, and I also question not how it happened, but what am I supposed to learn from it each time, like the
Yeah,
lesson from each event, each encounter, each whatever happens. Like, why am I supposed to, like, even the other day in the car, I was like, why did this guy just cut in front of me? And then his license plate said 666. I was like, okay.
yeah, yeah. So
So it's
it
just
just starts, you start to
small
see
things.
things. Yeah, you
Mhm.
start to see things a little bit different. And then most of the time you're seeing things for you. And it's so funny because you're talking about all of this, and then Layla is upstairs, and she started crying. I guess her and her sister got in an argument over
Mhm.
something because they're supposed to be in bed sleeping.
Yeah, I know. But it just
And
got dark.
huh?
It just got dark like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, they can finally actually realize that they need to sleep now, right?
Mhm.
Because in France, it's like bright until like 9:30 at
Yeah,
night.
exactly.
Yeah, so like putting the kids to bed early just doesn't
Work. I
they
know.
can't shut down, so they're just laying in bed
Fighting.
talking, and then they end up fighting
Mhm.
eventually, right? I think at the time, I think it's really good for them.
To be go
I
with the
mean,
time,
I
or
mean,
just be in the room.
they're just in their room talking to each other, right?
Yeah, I don't mind as long as they're not fighting. I just leave them to it.
Yeah, it's nice that they can do that. Like,
Yeah,
it's important to just talk in bed.
bond. Yeah,
Yeah. And then they tend to end up either sleeping or fighting.
yeah. There's usually a fight and then sleep.
Yeah.
And one yell like, "Oh, everybody goes to sleep!"
Yep, there has to be one that does that.
Yeah, exactly.
They all play the different roles. They're so cute.
I know. And then when
Um,
they're asleep, like, "Oh, they're so cute."
yeah, when they fall asleep, it's like, oh, I miss them. Not really, not really. I
No,
don't.
exactly.
So Nadia, she has three daughters.
Mhm.
What are their ages?
7, 6, and 4.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And you are raising them as a single parent.
Solo dolo, yes, I am.
That's amazing. I
Mhm.
mean, that's amazing. That's but you have your mom there with you.
Yeah, I live with my mom, so it's not completely alone, but as like the lone parent, I would say.
Yeah,
Because
you have to be
grandmothers have a different dynamic with the kids.
exactly. They're not really the parent.
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
I, I mean, I don't look forward to being a grandma, but I mean, yo, being a grandma sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, because you do whatever. Like you don't have to make any sense whatsoever. Just like it's your grandma, deal with it. They're like, okay.
Yeah, like
Like she said yes, and then she said no. I was like, well, deal with it. Like that's the way it goes.
yeah, like and at
Yes,
the same time, I really believe your girls are there to heal her in some way,
totally.
and then
I
you're
love
healing
it.
her in some way too. But sometimes you have to middle parent.
Yeah.
Oh,
So then it's parent everybody. You're like the overcover, but
and
it's
even yourself.
yeah. You're like okay, breathe, breathe. But it's well, because I like have a different perspective on it. It's less bad. It's much better.
Okay.
Like of course your emotions take over, but it's much easier to be like, okay, they're doing that, she's doing that, this is happening. We're cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave
Yeah.
you all now. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Mm.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to invite over Ronique. She's going to come
Okay.
in. Thank you very much, Nadia.
My pleasure.
And happy Mother's Day. I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
American Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. I keep on forgetting. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to you too. You're an amazing mom.
You too.
Hi, Ronique. Hi, hi, hi. Were you
Hi.
sleeping? Welcome. Welcome back.
It is a very nice Sunday.
Very good. I'm glad. Did you have a good weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And where are you? Where are you in? You're in Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And how's the weather over there?
It's getting sunny.
Very nice.
It's getting sunny.
The weather is starting to be enjoyable. Okay, it's supposed to be always enjoyable, but when the sun's out, we're a little bit nicer versions of ourselves. Yeah, it's different when the sun is shining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you brought the sun with you, huh?
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. How has your vibe been since your
My vacation.
yeah, because we keep reminiscing on this vacation. Even your posts are reminiscing on this vacation.
Yeah, it's so nice. I need a part two. You know what? Everybody says to me that I have that little trip did me justice, apparently.
Yeah.
That is the general consensus these days, that it did me a world of good.
Yeah. That's very good.
Because it's
In what ways? Can you elaborate a little bit? Like, how do you feel that trip was like a time a time shift or a reality shift, or you changed your reality from that trip?
uh, a lot of things. It it put me in a place where I I could swim in the ocean again. I used to love to go in the ocean and go swimming.
Mhm.
And it put me in a place where I could drive, and I love to drive.
Yeah.
And just just going out just going out to a random place and just meeting new people that I didn't anticipate meeting, that was, let us put it this way. A friend of mine had said to me that I would have left with lifelong friends, because years ago I did something happen where I moved to Montego Bay years ago, and I was a little bit apprehensive about moving by myself.
Yeah.
And then literally I was there for like what, 4 or 5 months. And by the time I left with a whole bunch of friends, a whole bunch of connections who I still keep in touch with to this day. And he was the one in my uncertainty, and in my, yeah, in my uncertainty and in my doubt, he had to be the one to remind me of who I was.
Okay.
Where I am the kind of person who will go to a random place and leave there with friends, which is what happened. So it's It's, I think for that trip, it sort of made me feel like myself again.
Very good.
Yeah.
And then you brought that back here, and how has it changed in your reality now? Like, how has it changed your work life? Like, how has it changed you being social or being confident or being settled? Or because I think you also recently changed jobs in a sense as well, right?
Yeah. So
Found a job, and
yeah,
yeah,
in October. So I remember, you when we had that conversation about when we had that conversation back in October, I was kind of back and forthing on whether or not it was the right thing
yeah,
in terms of the right choice,
yeah,
and just how everything turned out. I came back and I realized that it was the right choice. Why? Because I was able to put myself in an environment where I could have gotten back to like what I like to do.
yeah.
So going back into the regular routine, I get up earlier. I get up on I get up earlier. I'm not as unsure. I'm not as unsure as I used to be. And where I would be where I would be anxious, I am more excited.
Awesome.
I'm a whole lot more excited now. Even if something, don't get me wrong, it isn't a situation where I don't feel certain feelings, but after I feel them,
Yeah,
give myself time to feel it,
yeah,
and I can just remind myself that whatever is gonna happen, it is for my good.
yeah. You don't get stuck
Regardless.
in a heavy feeling.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because usually when I get those heavy feelings, I get into automatic survival mode. Okay, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? How do I fix this? What's going to go wrong? No, it's more of a feeling of if it goes wrong, that's how it's supposed to be.
yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. And
It's a very, I don't want to say the word hard place. It's a challenging journey to get to this point where it's like everybody's like, okay, manifesting, let's manifest. And I'm like, all right, let's manifest, guys, let's manifest. But when we manifest, you have to understand that when you want something, we put it out into the universe. But on the back end, we have to say, if it doesn't work out, if it
mhm,
doesn't work out, and people are like, but wait a minute, you said we're going to manifest it, so that means it's 100% guarantee that it's going to work out. And
yeah,
it's like, well, it's not 100% guarantee it's going to work out, but it's 100% guarantee something better is going to happen if it doesn't work out. It's a very, very, it's like, Bianca, you're someone said it the other day in a group that I went to, and they said it's toxic positivity.
yeah.
And it's like, is it really toxic? Like everything is toxic now. Like every fucking thing is toxic. Everything is toxic.
No. You know what?
No, no.
You know what? Even with that, even with that, when because you know the story in terms of how I was back and forth on where I wanted to go. When this is how I think of it now. I look, I look and I observe and I feel.
Yeah,
And if that is not the place where I'm meant to go, if that is not the place, nothing I do will get me there.
yeah,
That is that because that is usually how it goes. If you want to go somewhere and you find that every single avenue that you try is blocked,
yeah.
every single door is blocked, it's probably because that's not where you're meant to go. That's not the direction you're
But
meant to go
yeah,
in.
And a lot of time we get so fixated on one vision, one vision, one vision, one destination, one vision. And
It's
actually,
not necessarily a vision, but it's just in the, it's more of a fixation on the process.
yeah. And sometimes, if we fixate on it, we're actually closing other opportunities to come through, because the universe is like, it can come to you, be like, here's another silver platter for you. And you're like, I don't want that. I need this one.
I
This is how
need
it's,
this. I
yeah,
need this in this specific way, and this is step A, step B, step C, step D, step all the steps. This is how it's supposed to go,
yeah,
and that is not how the universe works.
no,
We always have to be open to the idea that although we can set an intention for ourselves and declare it, and that is, where you want to go, you have to be open to
the
other
different
directions. You have to
path.
be open to other avenues in that will open in order for you to go to where you want to go.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you know why? The other paths, like say, okay, my destination is I want to have a hamburger, all right? I'm hungry. I want to have a hamburger, right? And so the path I want to go to is like I'm gonna just go straight to go get the hamburger. But the universe is like, all right, you're gonna go this way, and then you end up getting French fries. And then the hamburger comes and you end up having hamburgers and French fries. Or
Exactly.
you end up going this way and you get onion rings, and then you end up getting onion rings and a hamburger. So
Mhm.
it's always going to be the same outcome is going to happen, right? But it's just
The
not
process is
always
different.
the direction that you want to go in, but it's
The
always going to be the same outcome for some reason.
Exactly. So I think it's more along the lines of trusting the process and trusting the journey.
And that's a
And
big
so,
thing. That's a big thing that comes with a lot of faith, right? A lot of faith.
oh yeah, and it's, and you know what happened? It's, I don't, well, I'm gonna get a little bit biblical in a way.
Mhm.
There's a scripture in the Bible that says, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, that can move mountains. And
Yeah,
it's really true.
yeah,
Really, really true. If you
really, really true.
if
Can
you
you hear
have,
you, Ben?
faith that small, even if you have faith that in that capacity, in that size, even that can lead you to where you want to go. But you have to be open to detours. You have to be open to, if you're trying to go this way, you have to be open to the idea of the road going this way,
Yeah, yeah,
and trusting that it's still going to carry you to the same destination.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank you, Ronique. I'm gonna bring in Eva. Thank you so much for that. Just to stay in, we're gonna be diving in. Rebecca's also here with us, so we're gonna be slowly bringing everybody in. So let's bring Eva in. Hi, Eva. How are you? Speaking of faith, we got Jesus in the background.
He's there.
He's here with us. He's one of my right hand man. He sits at the table with me. I've seen my round table it's funny. I'm diving right in with you, Eva, into dreams. It's crazy because that's what we're diving into. Um, one dream I had, I was sitting at a round table and I was sitting with a bunch of very amazing light beings and people, and Jesus was one of them. And so, Eva, you've been having some dreams, huh?
Yes. So about 2 weeks ago, I dreamed of my grandmother on my mom's side, and mm, I remember sending you a message right off the back when it happened because it was so vivid, like it was fresh.
Yeah,
It was interesting because I fell asleep a position I normally don't, which was face up. So
yeah,
I couldn't wake up. I
yeah,
couldn't wake up. I couldn't stop the dream until I was like yelling for my mom, and then I was like, okay, this is not working. I had to figure it out. What how do I snap out of it? How do I get out of it? And so I remember saying, light, turn on the light. Just, and I
Ooh,
screamed.
goosebumps. Oh my goodness. I had like all of a sudden I got so tingled everywhere when you said light, light, turn on the light.
And that's the only way I was able to get. And then as soon as I opened my eyes, I turned to the right, and it was a heavy presence over my body. So I was just like, this is really heavy. I don't know if it was, I wasn't too shocked, but I had to turn on the light so I can go back to bed. So I was scared. I
Okay.
scared of it.
Okay, so when we have dreams that are like this, scary, and especially when we fall asleep on our back, because it's actually recommended not to do that, right? We should fall asleep facing our right side, and then we can move throughout the night to our left side, just because it's good for our organs on that side. But it is recommended to fall asleep on our right side for spiritual, just for the flow of energy and the blessings and all that stuff to come our way. Also, the angels are more on the right. So when something like this happens, right, and you fall asleep like this and you wake up and you're scared, it is said we should spit
Okay.
out of our mouth 3 times. We should go as in disgust. We are disgusted with this being that's around us. We are disgusted in its presence. We're disgusted by it. We're not scared of it, right? We're disgusted. So like also like when I like to talk about people, when people talk to me and we're talking about someone, instead of having like a bad vibe on them or something, I say, oh, shame upon them. Like shame on them, right? Like I wish them they knew better. Shame on them. So for that entity, it would be spitting 3 times, and then you turn to sleep on your right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a natural instinct, and I did. I turned to my right, and I just couldn't go back to sleep. I was like, I need to turn on the light. So I did the light, and I went back to sleep. I prayed, and it was really hard to let go of the dream. She wanted me to read a scripture, and
Okay.
it was printed on a forearm. So
Okay.
skin, and it was 3 different scriptures that I had to learn how to read. So
Okay.
I don't know that. I have to do my research and understand what the message is. But it was really clear that I needed to learn how to read scriptures.
Okay. Like to go read the Bible or read the holy books?
If it was coded, so it's not writing like alphabet writing. It was, I don't.
Squares and shapes?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
shape. Um, it
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't so much of a drawing, but it was a code. I had to.
Yeah. So for me, just what I'm feeling is that when you have messages like that, you've already read it. So you've read something that is fully, I don't know, you could have read a whole book in that form. It's already inside of you.
Yes. I felt like I was familiar. And it was odd because it was on a forearm, her arm, and I
Yeah.
had to read it to understand a lot of my history, and I
Yeah.
felt like I already knew it.
Yeah. It was an activation in some way. So you already know it, and it was activating you. So that's sometimes people get downloads. I mean, we always get downloads when we're meditating. I mean, you get thoughts, you go places, you see things, you get ideas. Some people, when they're meditating, they see shapes and stuff like that, and that would just be like an instant download of full information. You could get books and books and books of information downloaded to you through a shape. A shape.
It was very educational because I was just like, wow, I need to find out more. I want to know more. And I honestly, I thought something was wrong. So I called my mom to make sure she was okay. She was fine. I called my siblings, they were fine. So I was just like, I need to know what kind of ancestors are really behind me because I need to understand a little bit more. I want to know
So
more.
is that something that you would want to do today? You want to tap in a little bit to your grandma?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can definitely do that. We can definitely call in your grandma's presence with us now so that she can relay the message for you. And what you could do is I'm not sure if Rebecca wants to come on. She's just going to have to message me or let me know because her camera is not there. But we can also bring her in And I'll just bring her in, and I mean, she can always use her voice if she wants. So, so what we can do is how it works is there's Rebecca. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, hi, hi.
can you hear
Uh,
me?
yes, we can hear you. You're driving.
I am driving. Well, I'm not driving currently. I'm sitting in the parking lot, but I'm about to drive.
Okay. All right. So welcome to Ancestral Constellation. We are going to be working with Eva right now with to help her to receive some information and from her ancestors. And I can see that, yeah, I can hear stuff. So we're gonna dive in. So we want to go down. Is your mother's side, Eva? Yeah. So we want to go down to the mother side. So that's awesome. We have all women here, regardless. I mean, men can do it too. Mom, grandma. So we just want to go directly to her. All right. So let's start. So Eva, you get to pick someone to represent your grandma. Go for it.
Okay. Anybody want to volunteer? I mean,
Nadia has her speaker.
I just yeah, sorry, I just put it back on because whenever you're talking, Ava, I was like fidgeting a lot.
Okay.
Whenever you're telling the story, like I was listening, but because I'm laying in my bed, I'm usually pretty comfortable. I'm like on the side, I was rolling around. I was just a certain sense of unease
okay.
or not in place. I don't know.
Okay.
I was just to share with you that that happened when you were talking.
Okay. So was your grandma constantly moving around?
Mm, from what I know, she came from Mexico when she was maybe um, in her 50s or 60s, and she passed away in her 70s. I consider that young,
Yeah.
73. She had health concerns, and as soon as she got
What was her health concern? Because why would she be fidgeting? What was the
yeah,
health concern?
dialysis, so it was cleaning the blood.
Yeah.
I believe her kidneys weren't
Yes, yeah.
helping her no more, and I think she was diabetic as well. And so she has 13 kids, so she had favorites, so she would stay at certain kids' house only. Not everybody had the chance to care for her. We never really put her in a nursery home, so she was among the kids. And I think that's why they have so many kids, to be quite honest,
Oh wow.
to be able to have to care for them when they get to an age. So my grandpa did pass away when he was younger. I think I was 5, so that had to be at least, you know, way before she came to Mexico. So I mean, from to USA. So I know the health issues brought her here to care
Okay.
for.
Okay. So and that's funny that you mentioned that like she had many kids to care for her, right? And so Nadia, you have kids. What do you feel like when you get older? Do you want your kids to care for you? Like
I would hope so. At least one. That's why I had three.
see exactly what she said. She said,
At least one of them will like me enough to look after me when I'm old. Hopefully
yeah.
all of them, but at least there's one. Yeah.
And how do you feel about that? Like looking after kids looking after you?
I would love that. Yes, I feel that that's what I have established. Like I teach them as if one day I care for myself. So we have to be gentle with the elderly, you know. And
Yeah.
mom lives here with us, and or vice versa. We live here with her. We share a big land property with her, and so we look out for each other and always care for each other. So that's the idea. Yeah, I want one of my children to care for us. And
I also I'm sorry, Ava.
Go on.
Sorry, I also live with my mom and I moved back with her like a year and a half ago. And here in France it's a very like almost like a taboo thing to move back with your mom. Like it's almost like a failure in some sense. Like some people could see it like that. But when you look at it in most other cultures, like it's kind of like what you do when your parents aren't well. Well, you move in with them, or well, like whichever way you go. But
yeah,
like you get closer to your family, whereas it's not in some societies. It's they've lost that as socially acceptable, and they'd rather put them in a home. And there's a big business around nursing homes. Whereas other cultures, you talk like I was talking in French, is Italian. In Italy, they do that a lot. In Egypt, like buy the whole building and the whole family live in different flats of the building. Um, I'm sure in lots of different cultures, like kind of like you were saying, Eva, you want your family to be together because just I think just to grow old in better environment than just parking them in nursing home. Needed necessary for some people, but not a automatic thing.
Yeah, growing up in Jamaica, what my grandfather would do, or my great grandfather would do, like every time his kids would get married, he would extend the house. He'd be like, I'm going to build another room for you, and another room for you. And I mean, his dream would have like all his family living under one roof. And even like growing up, I mean, we're constantly growing up, right? In the UAE, in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, the locals, they have their families living with them. Like they live with their families, and they actually have um like neighborhoods, in a sense, where they would have different family members living in the neighborhood with them. So I think it's amazing to have that. I mean, my culture, I mean, we have family close by, my husband's family,
Mhm.
and my sister has my parents' family close by. Maybe that's a message about how close family is and how important it is to your grandma.
I believe so. I had a hard time growing up with my parents. It was very um, unstable. Like their emotions were always in the way, and for a long time, I didn't know my mom. And recently, when things, I got to work with her. I started a business in cleaning, and she helped me a lot, and I got to understand everything about her. Not one person can tell me something that I don't know about her. So
Mm.
we're in the beginning of my adulthood. I didn't know anything, and I felt empty. Like I don't know where I come from. I had to question it and ask, and it was like a bother to ask these questions, forbidden to ask about the past because everything is, keep it under the
Mhm.
mat. And now I
Mm.
feel like I know her way too much. Like I can understand every emotion she's going through, and I know when she's feeling good, and I know when she's not, like an energy level. Like, okay, I get what she's going through. And, she's
But isn't that so healing? Because imagine not knowing your parents, right? Imagine like not knowing your ancestors, or having that information that you have now, right? That understands like, oh, when my mom's upset, this is what happens. Let me work on it in myself, right? Or I know where this comes from, or this part of me comes from this. And you can see how the people around you affect you, and not having them, how much it would affect you too, because you wouldn't even know half the things you know about yourself if your mom wasn't there,
exactly.
or even heal it.
Yes, I feel that way more now, and like it's incredible. I sometimes feel like she's my husband, and it's just like we know each other, but we also need our distance. So it's okay, to have that day or two, or even a week. We
Nadia, this makes sense to you, huh?
Yes, very much.
and we celebrated Mother's Day together, and I felt like I was the husband. It felt weird. It felt like I was the husband. Like, oh, she
You
sees
have
me.
to organize it. Yeah.
Everybody else got more attention but me because we live together. So I'm like,
Mm.
oh,
Well, can you kind of tell Nadia, or Nadia, you can tell her too, from her, you're being her grandma and kind of her mom at the same time. Can you tell her that, I don't know, she's a good husband, but she's not your husband?
Yeah, and it's
You're her daughter, and
yeah,
and the role of a daughter.
it's like it's very appreciated as from the daughter. That it takes so much effort, but you also have to find your space in it, if that makes sense. Like you can't just only focus on her. You still have to carve out your space. It's as even sometimes I don't know if you say husband, you feel like you're not appreciated as the mother you are, but you are appreciated. But you also have to assert yourself in a way and say like, okay, it's our Mother's Day, or it's Mother's Day for squared, or just whatever way you want to say it, like that won't ruffle too many feathers, but that everybody gets their space and time because it's not fair. Sorry.
But
exactly.
then,
I agree. It's not. There's like moments where I'm like, I'm a daughter too. Like, I have feelings,
Mm,
but it's like I'm the rock, so everything gets thrown at my way. So I'm like,
mm.
okay, I just kind of got used to it, but it does. It affects me.
So Nadia, you want to tell her to be the
That
daughter?
it's
It's okay for you to be the daughter, and that you see her for the daughter and not the husband.
definitely a C for the daughter, and it's also appreciated because like I think when you feel like nobody sees you, like hey, I'm the daughter, it's appreciated because if you're celebrating her as a mother, that means you're automatically the daughter yourself. So she definitely appreciates that. But then also as a daughter and a mother, assert yourself in your motherhood and celebrate. You can still celebrate together on equal par.
Yeah.
If you celebrate too much as a daughter, then you're released and then you lose your motherhood. If that makes sense, mother side.
And it's funny because you, Eva, you said that you're the husband. So it's kind of like you picked the word husband. So I'm going to roll with that word that you picked. And of all the people in the whole world, you use that word of, the word to describe your relationship with your mother. You said you feel like you're the husband. So then it makes me want to ask you about like the dominance of your husband, right? Because the husband is a dominant, it's supposed to be the divine masculine. So like, where is the divine masculine in your life where why do you have to play the divine masculine?
Mm, I think because of my upbringing, I feel like I don't need to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
I just do it.
Okay. Okay. And I mean, that would be a very divine masculine thing to do.
Yeah. I I notice with his present I am more submissive than I've ever been.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do we need to bring the husband in? I think we need to bring the husband in. So if Ronique is there or Rebecca's there, I would love for one of you to play Eva's husband or a divine masculine energy if that she needs. Who is on? I don't know. All right, Ronique. Hello, hello. Let's unmute you.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, so Ronique, playing the husband role. What do you feel?
It's more of a like a
Okay.
that's the only thing I'm like that's what I'm feeling.
You're just breathing.
Yeah, like you're breathing really hard. It's like
Okay, like hyperventilating almost.
it's almost that.
Okay, okay. Um, so playing the role of her husband and the whole hyperventilation, would that come with like your role? Do you feel like because I picked you as that role, it has come with a lot of pressure, or why are you?
Yeah, that's what it feels. It kind of feels like a bit of pressure. Like, can I do it? Can I really do it?
Yeah, can you answer the questions what we're going to ask you, or can you be the husband right now?
Yes. It's like, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I?
And why are you doubting? Why are you doubting yourself? Like why?
I think it might be past experiences.
Yeah.
It might be past experiences.
With past experiences, you've always done it, right?
Hmm. But I think it's more of a perfectionist.
It's just that instant panic of just like it's just like, okay, it's on me. I have to panic because I've always panicked before, even though
Yeah.
everything's always worked out, but I have to panic.
Yeah. Hmm.
Eva, how does that make sense for you?
Yeah, it makes total sense. Um, my husband didn't really have a father figure, so he had to figure things out.
Yeah. So it's always worked out though. I mean, he's still here doing it, so it's always worked out.
Yeah. It's
The only
more.
time it doesn't work out is when we like ixnay and snay, and then that's when it kind of like it's like, oh well, shit, you got to do it again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's more of a pressure to
Perform.
to perform and to be that person.
How do you think your husband feels pressured?
Well, he doesn't have a shoe to fill. Like he doesn't. My dad has helped him a lot find his way. He sees my dad.
As his father?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and in a sense, his dad was probably his father. I mean, in a different life. I mean, I'm sure they're related. Like you're all related. Even your husband, you understand, like your husband is related to you. So it's like if we're doing ancestral constellation, your husband is related to you. They are direct lineage to you. They are another piece of you in some way. In the ancestral constellation, your husband and your wife would be side by side beside each other, right? And then you have his parents, and then your parents, but you are one in a sense. So how would your husband and you be very, very similar, but so different at the same time?
We are earth and water. We're the
Mm-hmm.
opposite in the zodiac sign, but our past, our pain puts us in the same boat. We
Mm-hmm.
feel the pain that we've gone through, and we would never betray each other for that same purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, isn't that so perfect to put someone like that beside you? Like that must be something so divinely planned,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, our whole idea of marriage is to be faithful to someone. The story has it that the demons, the jinn, the shaitan, go to the head devil, right? The Satan, right? They go to him and they ask him many questions. He asked them, "Hey, my little demons or my shayateen, what have you done to please me today?" And one can say, "Oh, I made a man kill another man," and he would say, "Nah, nah, 1 point." And then another one would say, "Oh, I made a brother kill his sister." Nah, 1 point. "Oh, I made this person steal, or I made this person cheat, or I made this person do whatever." And he wouldn't give them anything. But then the one that came that said, "I made a wife and a husband divorce," he wins all of the love of the devil, of the shaitan. He is so happy to have a man and a woman divorce, right? It is allowed, but it is such a very heavy energy that causes it, right? A very, very strong energy causes a man and a woman to break their vows together, to split up. It is allowed, though, right? Um, so, yeah, what a way to kind of keep your bond as strong as possible through past heaviness.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha! Opposite, opposite to you, Shaitan. We worked on the heaviness to make us light.
It was amazing when we met. We just knew right off the back. We didn't even wait long to have kids. We didn't even wait for the wedding. We knew we had to be together.
Awesome. That's amazing. I think that's another symbol on written on you,
I
right?
think,
That's what we're trying to dive into. What each symbol, the messages from your grandma, what she's trying to tell you.
yes.
So that's amazing. And then we kind of want to ask you, like, why do you think having a partner is so important? What's the benefits of having a husband?
Oh, a lot of benefits. I mean, there is definitely the bond that you create when you're intimate. I am a person that belongs to just one other. I don't feel that once you marry, you should divorce. I know it happens, but I wouldn't remarry if I would lose my husband or if we were to separate, which I don't see that happening, or and don't read it in the energy. But if
Yeah.
God chooses he needs to be summoned, I wouldn't remarry. I would stay a widow, and I feel that I would find him again.
But then do you think that your husband would want that from you?
No, he probably would want joy.
Yeah, because like, I mean, love is so authentic. I mean, love is amazing. Like to have love, to be loved, to be in love. It's such a special thing. And the love a husband and a wife share should be a very, very special thing. And so, you know, yes, we all want to say that if our husbands were to pass, like we would not be able to find love again. But if, I mean, I would want my husband to find love. Like go for it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not here anymore. And in that other world where we're at, we're like, there is no sin, no jealousy. Have 5 wives, have 4 wives, you know, like live it up, make the best of your life, like have a great life, you know, have the best that you can. Um,
I
and the
guess
only
I
way to have a
would.
good life is to love, right?
Yeah, I would, because I'm all about the love. But just giving the thought, I'm not trying to go in that direction is more like my way of saying nope, not
It's never going to happen.
not trying to. So yeah, I totally get the idea of yes, finding love until the time is done. Yes, I love is such a healing power.
and and all of just I want to ask in general all of you, like what do you think, I mean, your experiences, like so many people think that they have found their one true love or their one love, or they're married and they can never get another love again. What do you think?
Uh, well, I used to think that there was only one when we're
And you've
young.
never been married, just to be
Yeah,
clear.
I've never been married, never
Yeah,
been engaged, no, none.
not yet.
Not yet.
Inshallah, if it's written, it's written for you.
Well, let's see if it is.
Inshallah.
Let's see if it is. But you know what? I feel as if depending on the the journey that you're on and the path you're on in life,
Yeah.
you you will come across some great loves.
Yeah.
You will come across some great loves, and they will teach you about who you are. They will teach you about who you are, and they will give you a better understanding of who who that great love is, which is you.
Yes. Yes.
Because
They
at
heal
the end,
pieces of you
exactly, they share pieces of you, but
and heal it.
yes, they will heal pieces of you. But at the end of the day, your great love is supposed to be you and the God in you.
Yes. Amen.
And because even the Bible says God is in all of us, and we are all connected to God. So if we focus on that, we will find we will yes, we will find great loves who will mend pieces
Mhm.
and who will teach us certain lessons.
Mhm.
And if we are blessed enough to find that one person who does everything, who will mend and who will show us.
But you know, the thing is that people don't realize that mending and showing us is going to trigger the shit out of us.
Oh yes, and only certain people can handle it. So
Yes.
that is why there are certain people who are going to be there
Because
to
how do we
show.
heal if we don't trigger? How do we know
Exactly.
what pieces of us need to be healed if they are not triggered?
Exactly. Because it's almost like you're going to the doctor,
Yes.
and the doctor
It's
will
gonna break your leg.
not necessarily break your leg, but when they use that little thing, that little small little hammer thing, and they'll tap on, they will tap on certain parts of
Reflexes.
you.
Yeah.
And if there is a point of, if they tap on something that is painful, they know what to zone in on.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the same thing that when we come across, when we come across people and certain people's paths cross.
And to just go with that, I like that. I like what you're saying, that analogy that you're using, right? The thing is that if that thing doesn't heal, it's the doctor is going to keep tapping it
Oh yeah.
until it's healed. And the only person that can heal that freaking, like, doctor's going to be like, tick tick boom boom, tick tick boom boom, and the only person that can heal the boom boom is you,
Mm-hmm.
right? The doctor's like, is it still going to go boom boom? Is it still going to go boom boom? And
Mm-hmm.
that's what our significant other, or not even significant people in our life that will
Yep.
come in, especially in your relationship, they will go like this,
Yeah.
right? And it is their job to go like this. It is
Yep.
their job. The doctor's job is to do this, to check, right? And
Mm-hmm.
our job is to not fight the doctor, but our job is to look at in within ourselves and says, why am I going like boop boop when he does this?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is a very backwards thing.
Yep. And certain people are blessed to have that one person who does everything in one. And for others, we come across different people throughout our journeys or throughout our life path who will point out certain areas that we need to fix.
Mhm.
And it's
But remember, we said earlier, the same hamburger but different journeys,
uh-huh.
right? The same destination, and that destination is to
Mm-hmm.
love yourself,
Exactly.
to heal yourself, to master yourself. That's what I tell my son all the time. I say, Zane, in this life, buddy, it is all about mastering you. Because some
Mm-hmm.
people have different intentions in their life. They have different contracts written. And on some people's contracts, it says that they must master themselves. My other daughter, she's a very old soul, right? She's been there, done that, master herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So her journey is a little bit different, but again, it's going to lead to the same hamburger. I mean, the hamburger is God, right? In the end.
Exactly.
So yes, some people just need to find God.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And what and if God is in here,
Same,
we have
same,
we have to look in here.
same.
Mm-hmm.
And so Nadia, I want to ask you a similar question with the same intention. Like, what do you feel since you've actually been in a relationship, been married, right? Been going through a divorce right now.
Mhm.
Like, what do you feel about relationships and that significant other and how they could be a half of you that triggers you to become a better version of you, and then is there another half that's out there that's going to trigger you, or yeah.
I'd say I'm in between. So I kind of similar to Ava. Like when we met, we had like kind of our differences or like our backgrounds are brought us together, and so I thought we were solid and I thought it was well, but we hadn't healed enough before we met, and so obviously we triggered each other in different ways, and that's when we had to part ways. Like it wasn't we were triggering each other and we couldn't heal together because one
Yeah.
was so upset and one was hurt. Like we just never found like common ground anymore.
Yeah.
And so now we're separated, and I totally agree with Ronique. Like, you know, you need these people in your life to come in, or your partners to trigger these parts of you. It's like so you can heal them, because actually it's only with being in like a close relationship like that that you can actually get to the triggers. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think when you're in society, when you're out and about, you always know how to hide certain parts, or you can leave. You know, if you're at parties or at functions or whatever it is, you always have this opportunity to leave. So you never actually get, like, the hammer never can actually hit, because you can see it coming. Like, oh no, I don't want to do that. So you leave. So
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a relationship with somebody and you live with somebody, you can't leave. It
Yep.
has to hit and it has to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's
Right
definitely
now you're
necessity.
right now you're in a relationship with your mom, though.
Yes, also.
Yeah.
And that also, but that's I feel like I'm healing more.
Yeah,
So
so she is healing you.
she's healing too, but I'm also gonna be able to navigate it better.
Yeah.
I can navigate whereas, for example, my ex-husband, and also maybe because I expect less from her and you expect more from your husband,
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, this is not working. Like when say someone's my mom and there's a tense situation, I'll just leave. I'm like, okay, this is what's happening. I'll come back and better prepared for the next situation. Whereas maybe you expect also a lot from your partner to understand maybe more than what they actually can or what you're telling them. So then it leads to disappointment.
Yeah.
And but now
I
I would
think that having that mom energy at home with you, where you're just like just go do your own thing, right?
Mhm,
But
yeah.
I love you because you're my mom and I have to love you, right?
Mhm,
It's a very similar energy that we can feel with our husband, right? It can be like it could be like okay, go off and do your own thing, but I love you. You're my mom,
mhm,
and having that mom role is like a forever role. It's like you can't not be someone's mom, but you cannot be someone's husband.
mm,
Right? You cannot be someone's wife, but you can't sever the bond between a mom and a child.
yeah.
Right. So no matter how upset you are with your mom, she's
You
never
always
going
come
to,
back.
yeah,
Mhm,
she's never going to divorce you. You understand?
mm,
Um, but a husband and wife can be divorced. They can move
mhm,
over in a constellation, and the role can be pushed away.
mhm,
But in a sense, you're always going to be connected because you have your children.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also I think while you were saying that I expect less from my mom. Like you don't expect her to completely understand you because there's a relationship. Like with any parent, they'll understand a lot of you, but there's part of you that they didn't see because you just grew up your own way.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe with a partner, you're like expecting them to understand more because you spend so much time together, but there's a long part of your life you weren't with him. So how are they supposed to understand that?
Yeah.
So it's a less expectation than
Yeah.
And then now with relationships, it's up in the air, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can definitely understand like having
Mm.
a relationship right now. Like what happens if all of a sudden I was like ding dong and a guy was to come to Ronique's door and Nadia's door right now and they're like, "Listen, I'm your future husband." And you'd be like, a
Woo!
side of you would be like, "Really? I'm not sure if I want one right
Monique's
now."
excited.
Ronique, what do you feel? What do you feel if I'm like ding dong?
Ding dong, ding dong. If a devilishly handsome man were to knock on my door right now and say that, I was like, okay, what?
Yeah, you'd give it
That
a
would put me on the spot.
yeah.
That would put me on the spot. It would. He would have to kind of convince me that that is really what he wants and explain why that is what he wants
Mm-hmm.
before I can say, okay, all right, the argument makes sense. Let me think about it.
So
Then
basically, just the both of you have to be very straightforward from the beginning. Like,
Mhm,
yes,
listen,
yes,
listen, listen.
yes. He would have to be he would have to be straightforward, forthcoming, just tell it straight up like it is, and just say exactly what he feels, just spill his guts, and then I can say, okay, he's being vulnerable right now. He's telling me exactly how he feels, and I can
And
feel it.
can you tell me what does he feel?
Let's see. Uh, if I were to channel into this person's feelings, I think it would be more along the lines of insecurity and fear that I will say no.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I am feeling. It would be more, what if she, what if Ronique says no?
Yeah.
I put myself out there. I put myself out there and I laid everything out on the table, absolutely everything.
But what is on the table? Like, what does this person want? Like, I'm coming ding dong, and you said, okay, you have to explain yourself to me. You have to be very vulnerable. You have to say, listen, like, I'm done. I'm done playing games. I've played games in my past. Listen, I've had many
And
girlfriends, or I've had
I,
many experiences. I've been with my ex for like 5 years, or I was married before, or something. It didn't work out. Like,
one,
honesty, right?
yeah, I think it would be more along the lines of, let me see if I can, because this is all energy, right? Say, okay, I have done some bad things. I have not treated the women around me well. I have not treated you well. And I have, and over the years, I have realized that I have not treated you well. And now I see the person you have grown to become. And what I feel is regret
Mm-hmm.
that I was not with you
Mm-hmm.
to watch you grow and watch you change. And I'm sorry for that. But for the rest of this time, I want to see what else you will do. And I want to be the first to see it. I want to be the first to see you change into the person I know you can become.
That would
Because
be.
I'm there and I want to be.
So Nadia, how does that make you feel hearing all of that?
Um, yeah, it feels like it's you're talking to somebody that was in your past that you want to come back, like somebody that, and it feels like for me, I wish somebody was like, well, my ex had given me more grace at a certain period, but
I feel like she was speaking to you in a sense.
yeah, but that ship has sailed. It's kind of like the scenario was like if somebody came knocking on the door and was like, "This is your like your
And it
future
was your
husband,"
ex. Hold on, it was your ex because
or it was my
apparently
ex. I'm like,
that's who's knocking on your door right now because
yeah,
that's
but I
what
just
Unique is channeling in a
yeah,
sense.
yeah, I can yeah, I wanted that grace extended to me, but it wasn't. So it's kind of like
Too late.
sorry, I'm tearing up. So I don't even know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that it happened that way. I wish grace was extended, but it wasn't. So now it's kind of like that's why I don't like. I'm happy Bianca asked you first, Ronique. What do you think you would say? Because I have a huge lack of trust right now in what anybody would say, basically. Because I feel even if you're vulnerable, if you're open, because this is the situation I was in. He was vulnerable. We were open. We shared a lot. We went through hard times, etc. Then, society, other energies come into play, and then they will flip, even though they said certain things before repeatedly, and it was the trust was built on that. They can go back and just be like, nope, you know what? I'm taking that card back out. I don't want to do that no more. And then just everything just kind of falls apart.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the insecurity I have with me within myself as well, because if I'm always thinking that, okay, if that person would show up at my front door and he says all of that, and I let my guard down and I give him a chance, what if he changes his mind?
Mm-hmm.
My I honestly, I know what I would do, because I know how to get into survival mode,
Well,
where
that's what it's all about.
where I have to look out for number one.
Yeah.
So once things start to move, once I start to feel as if things aren't the same, or things aren't moving in a specific way, and I start to feel, because we all feel when something is all right.
Mm-hmm.
We might ignore it.
Yeah.
We might choose to ignore it, or we might say, oh, it's not this, it has to it we all play it off as if it's something else,
Yeah.
when our intuition is never wrong. Our intuition has always the first instinct that we have is always the right one.
And that's something that to just piggyback on what you're saying, that's something that I really recommend for people to start learning, is really to trust your intuition, but also to muscle test yourself, to ask yourself questions
Mm.
and receive the answers, right? So that we can't push it aside, because it's going to give you a physical hit. It's going to
Yeah.
give you a physical hit. It's going to give you the second confirmation that you need, right? Because in your healing journey, in relationships with someone, you can ask a question like, okay, so I would say, is he cheating on me, right? Let's just say that, like, can I ask if he's cheating on me? And if you get a hit with a yes, the question is not that 100% he's cheating on you, but 100% you believe he's cheating on you. 100% you believe inside of your heart that he's cheating on you. Now there's two directions to go. Why do I think he's cheating on me? Is he really cheating on me? Right? So there was two branches to the tree. Why do you believe that? Is my belief coming from past programming? Is it something that is just from past experiences, from heaviness that I feel, from whispers in my ears? Like,
Or
what
triggers.
past triggers? It can
Mhm.
be coming from something. Or is he really doing it? Because the thing is that if he's not really doing it and you think he's doing it, you're going to fucking make him do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
the
true.
crazy thing.
Yeah, because usually in that particular situation, when you have those sort of thoughts, it will it will manifest itself. It's almost as
Mm-hmm.
if, okay, if
Will.
you keep on accusing me of this, I might as well do it because you think you're thinking I'm doing it anyway.
Sense. Like in the Matrix, that one part that always gets me is when the Oracle tells Neo, watch out for the cookies, and he turns around and he hits the cookie jar open and over, and it falls down. Right? So, like, if she didn't tell him, would he have turned around and broken it? Or did she really see into the future?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So it can really play some mind games with us, and sometimes that's why we have the cycle. We have to heal from that cycle. We shouldn't think that a partner should betray us. We shouldn't think that someone is going to cheat on us, especially. And it's really hard because you guys are talking about the same fucking person from the past. It's not like it's a new energy coming in where you're like, okay, blank history for that person. I don't know anything about him. I know everything about fuck me, but I don't know anything about him. But regardless, you're going to have the same cycle in anyone if those thoughts are the same thoughts.
Yeah.
You see the thoughts that you're having? If even I was to say ding dong and it was a complete stranger come to your door, what would you think?
What would I think? He was watching me for a while. He was watching me for a good while.
See, I don't want the past to come through where it's like, I don't want to go deep with this person because maybe they're going to fuck me over, or I don't want to be intimate with this person because maybe they're going to leave me, right? You're a whole different person from who you were before, right? You've quantum leaped into the future from that past version of yourself. So this whole episode is quantum leaping. We're going into the future version of ourselves, right? Into the direction of where we want to go today. I don't know how the path is that's going to take you, but I want us to really focus on who do we want to be in the future. Do we want to have a ding dong come into our life? Are we opening ourselves up to accepting that? Are we working on where do you want to go?
I would say, like, just piggybacking off what you were saying, like the intuition part. Like, it could, like, people say now is red flags. It's commonly said it's like a red flag. It's like something you saw and you knew within yourself that it was wrong, but you're like, no, it's something else by it. And I think it's hard to trust your intuition at certain points, even though, like, science might be, like, really figured. Like, I'll give you my example, my personal example. The night we got engaged, so we were in a restaurant, and, like, the restaurant, we got to give us a bottle of champagne, and then the next place we went to, we got more free drinks because everybody found out as we were going along that we just got engaged. So I got really drunk, and I actually handed him back the ring, like the engagement ring, like 2 or 3 times that night. And now when you look back, you're like, okay, that was my intuition. But on the night of, because obviously drink was involved, I was like, oh, I'm just me. I was drunk. I didn't know what was going on with my mind. I was just a shock. So it depends also on the situations you're in and how to, like, really listen to know how to listen to your intuition or the red flags, whatever way you want to say it. to be
I
able to
think
go
in
forward.
terms of that, you know what happened? In terms of the intuition, in terms of in terms of trusting in intuition, it is challenging for a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
because intuition is going to tell us what we don't want to hear.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It's going to tell us the truth and the ugly truth. And that is when
But the thing is,
avoid it.
intuition is going to tell you exactly what you need to hear.
Yeah.
That's the crazy
That's
thing.
not, it's not what you want, it what you need to hear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to tell you the straight up ugly truth. It's going to tell it to you. You just have to have faith in yourself. But the thing is, your intuition can change, right? It's crazy that, so that's why sometimes I will muscle test someone before we have a session with them, and we'll muscle test with someone after we have a session with them, because they all of a sudden, because their reality changed, their whole intuition has changed as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, what if I was to state, Nadia, that you were drunk, and when you drink, okay, we know it opens ourselves up to heavy energy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you agree with me?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What happens if I was to say that was the heavy energy at work telling you no? What happens if that
Mm-hmm.
was the light energy at work telling you
No, but
yes?
yeah, because either way, like I had to go, like we were saying earlier, like these past relationship trigger points in you, so you can heal. So regardless if it was a red flag or not, I had to. Sometimes people are like, well, obviously 'cause I'm recently out of my separation, so I'm still talking to people and still fresh. Like what was the sign? You should have known or didn't know. Like what was this? There was many, I guess you could say, signs.
But wouldn't you think that that because both of you carried your own heaviness?
Yeah, but we had to go through the whole process
Yeah.
to reach this point for me to actually be here on this call with you and be like, okay, I have an intuition that I can hear it, understand,
Yeah.
or I can see like the journey, like to get into a hamburger, it's different path and things like that. Whereas before it was very much,
And would you
I guess,
consider the path that you had very heavy?
yeah,
Did you feel heavy going through
yeah,
it?
yeah, it was, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But because it was a lot, it wasn't just like, it's never just us, it's never just our path, like there was a lot of energies around us that were making it heavy too.
Oh yeah.
Like the separation start, like the problem started with the issue between him and my father, kind of like Ava said, like her husband didn't have a father figure, so he backed on her father, which is in Ava's situation was very positive. In mine, it took a negative turn. But that was just everybody's energies really heavy. It just
Different beliefs,
diff-
different
I just think
backgrounds,
people
different.
weren't really like people aren't really healed, and people very much in their egos. So there was no space for understanding the other person because everybody came from different backgrounds, lots of different backgrounds, so that you needed to be open to it.
Yeah. And I think sometimes if we don't look at people like they are helping us,
Yeah,
because a lot of the times we look at other people, especially men, look at other men like they are one
competition.
upping. Yeah, like a competition, and they can't put their ego aside to realize, like, I don't know, yeah, I don't want to say, yes, men are very, very powerful in the divine masculine, but us females are very, very powerful in our divine feminine to be able to do something like this, to be able to talk to each other, to open ourselves up, to be vulnerable. I don't know a lot of men that would do that.
Neither do
No,
I.
and I think it's a problem. That's like not a problem. It's like a lot of the problems with men have because of that.
Yeah,
When they
and
say
I
we don't
think
allow
that's why
men to
it's so
cry and
important.
things like that, there, even though
Send
you
your
know,
send your husband or your boyfriend to a quantum healing session, please.
Ava
Like, please,
is not.
just send them to a quantum healing session. Let them have that one moment where they're like paying to cry. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Like they're having that moment where they're going to be like, listen, okay, all this fuck shit that has been inside of me for years and years and years. My wife is forcing me, or my girlfriend, or whoever is forcing me to do this, and let me just like, let me do it, but I'm going to do it 100%. And then they come out and they're really somebody different.
they definitely have to be open to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think being open to it is a big thing.
That's true.
Eva,
My
what do you?
husband did. He did a session with Bianca, and at first he was like, I don't need that. I'm okay. And then I was like, just take a chance and see what you find out.
because obviously he never spoke to his father. He died his father passed as a baby, and so he doesn't have a memory. He only has stories from other people. And I always felt that that was a missing puzzle to who he is. And when he did have the session, it was like a whole different person. I'm like, wow, I felt different for one. I felt very more with trust. I didn't have to watch my back no more. Like I felt like I was complete. Like there was no need to worry.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of worry on him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
and
reading what he was feeling.
yeah, you're definitely feeling what he was feeling. You're feeling the void that he was feeling as well, you know. And once that void was able to be kind of understood, like what is this void? Like where does this void come from? Why am I feeling this void? Even for you, just as much as for him. And once he understood where it was coming from and we put it in its place,
Yes.
you can feel the feeling triggers down. I mean, that's why our kids are going to be so, God willing, inshallah, our kids are going to be so much more healed than we are.
Yeah, support.
That's
The
true.
whole purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if we're not going to do it for anybody, we do it for them at least.
Yep, that's true.
Because we're better parents, we're better friends, we're better wives, lovers, partners, better at everything because of what we're doing.
That's true.
Yeah. I wish Rebecca would have popped on again so that she could come in and talk as well. And if anybody wants to also pop in, we're going to be on here for another 30 minutes. And if you guys need to pop off or on, you're more than welcome to do that, you know. And I'm so grateful for you guys to have spending some time on Sunday with me. We're going to take a little stretch, a little break. We're going to see if anyone else pops on. I'm going to just play a little video. And this is from Lily de Agua. This is Eva. I met her through Eva, and she does water purification. So she sells the water purifying system that actually charges water, so it has a very high pH balance because our bodies need to be in a very high pH balance to initiate healing. Higher, I think higher the better. We don't want to be in an acidic state. We want to be in a high pH state. And the difference between what she does and the bottled water is bottled water tends to be charged with chemicals, while this one is charged with energy, like vibration, frequency. I don't know. She has a machine that charges the water. So here is a little video from her. Take a break, have a drink, have a stretch, and we'll be right back.
I am on a mission to help you live a happier and healthier life. I am here to bring education to the world about the water that we drink, about the waters that are polluting our body, and help people find solutions. Solutions to bring to the body a healthy state, to help you drink the water that your body deserves, the water that will create the right environment in your body to thrive in health. I am here to bring awareness of what is that is possible causing you
And I like it
sickness,
because it says already
low energy. This water right here, it's living water. And this water is helping the world to come back to themselves, to return to origin, to help our bodies to do what they are meant to do naturally. Heal itself, repair itself.
thicker. However, you can
I am on a mission to help you live a happier and
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are here with our quantum healing, and we're in the quantum healing realm tonight. We are diving into ancestral constellation. We're doing a little bit of untangling the entanglement that's between us. We were diving into relationships in marriage, influences of the divine masculine energy on us, and how sometimes having too much divine masculine energy can play a very big toll on a divine feminine body. So, yeah, I think the body is a very special thing, and I wanted to dive in a little bit about the body and how the body speaks to us and speaks through us. And it makes me want to talk about divine masculine energy versus divine feminine energy and the role that the body plays being a masculine energy versus a feminine energy, because we do have roles that we play. Just like the moon is considered a divine feminine energy and the sun is considered divine masculine energy, and they have their roles that they play. If one was to play another role, it wouldn't work out. We wouldn't have night, or I mean, we would have night, but we wouldn't have light in the sky, or we wouldn't have darkness if we wouldn't have darkness, right? If the sun was the moon and the moon was also, I mean, if the sun was the sun and the moon was also a sun, we wouldn't have darkness. It is so important, the strategy that was played out in order for us to have the moon and the sun. And did you know that, so the sun is the closest star to Earth. It is our star, and all the other stars are light years, billions of light years away, and the sun is the closest one, and it is only what is it, 8 seconds in the past, something like that. A few seconds in the past is when we look up at the sun, compared to like 4 years in the past when we look up at the first star that we see in the night, or the closest star that we see. So the sun is there, and we have the earth. And back in the day, it seemed like the earth didn't rotate on a slanted axis. It, if it was to rotate on an axis that was straight, we would not have seasons, right? One side of the earth would kind of just be a dead side of the earth, and another side of the earth would be a living side of the earth. But then one day, a meteorite or a comet or whatever came in and hit Earth, and her name was Thea. That's what she was called. And she hit Earth, and what happens is she put Earth on an axis. She also caused some type of crater or something to happen to the Earth, but a piece broke off and became the moon. So what happens is the Earth, now we have atmospheres and we have different geological things that happen. So we're always having erosions, and our Earth changes constantly. So we wouldn't even be able to tell if this thing hit us, because Earth is always changing, unlike the moon. The moon never changes. So the craters that are in the moon have been from when it was formed and ever since. So we wouldn't be able to see craters on Earth, because the way Earth is made, the dirt is always changing, the atmosphere is changing, we have weather, we have storms, we have everything, unlike the moon. So the moon does tell us a lot about the history of the Earth. It can tell us a lot about things that have happened in our atmosphere for billions and billions and billions and billions of years back, till Earth was on its tilt, right? So in the divine feminine energy of that all, really women heal and know a lot about everything that has happened in our generational lineage. Now, the men being the sun, the masculine energy, that's a very burning energy. Now, I need to ask a question to you all, and I'll have Nadia can pop in, Ronique can pop in, and if anyone else wants to join in, I shared the link online already, so they can receive that. And we want to talk about what happens if our bodies were to play the role of a divine masculine energy. What is the toll that your bodies would have on you? So yeah, it's a very heavy role to play both. And Nadia, you're playing a little bit of both energies right now. So what do you feel physically? How does that play a toll?
Right now it's okay because I understand it, but it had led me to like almost a mental breakdown. Like as a woman, being too much in her masculine does wear you down, because even say we're equal par, like physically we can, the physicality of the stuff we could do it, or we can do the tasks, or we can add up so much tasks in our day.
Mhm.
The mental toll that the thought process that we put in, like we call the mental load a lot for women, is much higher. And I think you just collapse. You know what I mean? You just basically just cannot think straight. You can't see straight. You can't just do anything in the right way. Like you're completely off tilt. Like you were just, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Now that I've reached that point, like after you get back from it, like obviously you have a lot of healing has to happen, a lot of thinking and reviewing the process. I would just say women and men can't do the same things equally, because women will put a different effort into it and men will put a different effort into it also. But whenever you understand what part you can bring as a woman to a task, then you can do it, and then the rest you just offload, just delegate.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of really find your divine feminine, see how much you can do and you're willing to do, and then just delegate the rest.
Yeah. And then what there's people who do play the role of a divine masculine energy very well.
Mm.
Right? Like my sister-in-law, if you know her, like she plays a very strong divine masculine energy, a very dominant role very well, because she did grow up with like brothers. I think it's that. I think she's in between two boys. Like she has her older brother, my husband, her, and then a younger brother, right? She does have sisters, but later on. And so she does seem to carry this divine masculine energy about her, and she's tired of it. She's sick of it. She doesn't want to carry masculine energy anymore. She's like, fuck that. How do I take this shit off of me? Right? She wants to be submissive. She wants to be in the feminine role. In such a sense. So I'm going to get Ronique back in, and Krista has joined us. I see you, Krista, backstage, and I want you to join in too, because we're talking a little bit about bodies. And I love that you popped on at this moment in time. Rebecca is on as well. So let's welcome Krista. And hi, Krista. How you doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tired, but
You were busy today. You said you were in a haircut, or you were doing a haircut.
yeah.
Nice. Was it a good one, like cut and color?
No, I don't do color anymore. Just cuts. I have a small station at home, but I just do cuts when I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you do that from home.
Yeah, it's nice to make your own schedule.
It's so convenient to not pay rent. I mean, on top of rent,
Right.
right? So, how are you doing in yourself?
I've been all right. I got some injections in my neck yesterday, so I was in a ton of pain, but it's a little better today. But I probably shouldn't have done the haircut, but I had to, because he comes down from school. So,
But I'm gonna have to trust that you're capable of doing the haircut.
yeah, I mean,
You did it, right?
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Yeah.
hmm
So, I mean, you're capable of doing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's a nice kid. I've been cutting his hair for a while, but yeah. Overall, just I have a little bit of downtime, so I'm trying to work on the things that I like to do. And I think you told me that last time I talked to you, that to make time for the things that make me happy, kind of. At least that's how I took it. And it was funny, because I was in the middle of doing an art project for somebody, and sometimes I get, when it's like for other people, it's almost stressful, versus doing something that I want to do, that it's going to feel like I have a little bit of release, because it tends to happen a little bit more organically than having a commission on something that somebody asked for.
But I was channeling you before you even came on, Krista, because this whole conversation, I felt like I was calling you into this channel, right? Onto this channel, and I was And when Nadia was speaking earlier, I wanted to shift positions, and my leg was hurting me so much because I had put so much pressure on my leg. And I felt like I was causing myself pain. Like I was causing the pain, right? I should have moved my fucking leg, or I should have, I should have done something. It was me that was making myself stiff. I could have just relaxed. Like, why was I in such an uncomfortable position? Right? Why didn't I just turn and shift myself like 10 minutes ago? Like, why did I care that I had to be sitting properly and up straight? And why can't I just enjoy myself while I'm doing this thing that I love doing, which is these podcasts and all that stuff? But I'm like, I need to be an anchor woman. Is there lipstick on my teeth? Oh no. Like, I don't have to be so rigid about things. And that's when you're rigid about stuff, it's like it's fake. It's like it's not real you, it's not authentic. And the highest vibration is authenticity, right? That's it. It's not even love, like, right? It's authenticity. And if we're fighting authenticity, I'm hurting myself. Yeah. So, even just trusting the process is the whole idea.
Yeah.
It's hard to trust the process when you tend to like get hurt by it. Yeah. So trusting the process. I'm going to just see if Rebecca wants to come on or Ronique wants to come on. You can just turn on your camera and I can pop you on, or if you want to just come on and just have your voice, because we're going to dive in. Since Krista is here, Krista, where do you want to go from here? Like, we're quantum leaping into the future right now. And what we're going to be helping you with tonight is to remove the cords that are blocking you from getting to that place. So quantum leaping into the future, we're going to see the future version of yourself. What does she look like? Feel like.
A lot of energy.
All right.
Strong.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be involved in something with health to help other people, whether it's through herbs or nutrition.
Aren't you already doing that though?
I am to an extent, but I want to go to school, some sort of like do an herbal certification or something where I can dive a little deeper into it. And I want to do gardening. I want to have, I brought like a bunch of sprouting trays right now. I haven't done it because I want to make sure I do it right, because if it doesn't come out the first time, I want to probably be upset. But I want to do like microgreens eventually, and I'm trying to find ways.
Man, they're a big thing. If you do microgreens and you get a contract somewhere for that, that's a really great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you keep saying the word want, and want is coming from a place of lack, right? When we want something, it means we don't have it. And I'm trying to activate, what we're here to do is activate the fact that you have it already. I mean, you fucking have it already. You have the planting pots already. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have everything already. So in this place where everything is going to work out exactly how you want it to work out, what does a day look like for Krista?
I get up, do some qigong, make a healthy breakfast. Something where I think I'm talking to people on the daily, whether they come see me with whatever issues they have physically. I want to eventually get to a place where I'm knowledgeable and certified to help others. And I'm.
Yeah, but we want to get where you're at that place now. Like, you're there. So I'm re-interviewing you into the future, right? And I'm like, hey, Krista, how you doing? How did today look for you? And you're going to say, Bianca, I woke up at 6. I did a little Tai Chi, Qigong, whatever. I don't know. Sometimes I want to dabble into Tai Chi a little bit. Like, that's pretty cool to start your day off with some energy moving and shifting, or yoga. Anything is energy moving and shifting, right? And then, like, what else happened to you today? Just a typical day in your future. Someone
I
came.
watered all my plants and
Nice.
changed
Yeah.
all the soil.
Mm-hmm.
I did a couple of calls for people to pick up their sea moss and their whatever herbs I had prepped for that day.
And what is it, like weekly orders for them, or like they're
Yeah.
just So you just called in and had your weekly order, and then what you had a new client today, like talking to you about any of their medical issues that you can prescribe some type of a herbal plan for them.
Yeah. I mean, I want to make sure I have time for my pets and my partner,
Yeah,
whether it's
and
going
I mean,
outside and
yeah, that's afternoons you can go take walks outside. You took a walk outside with your partner.
go on a long hike where I sweat.
Nice. Sweating is very important.
Yeah, I don't, my nervous system is kind of messed up, so I don't sweat at all anymore.
Yeah,
But
and we need to sweat because that's a great way for toxins to come out. Do you go to saunas or like the like I recommend? Okay, maybe you could start dry brushing. Do you dry brush?
I bought the brush for it, but I did it for about 3 days and
Come on,
that
get
was
and you got to do dry brushing. It's a great way to start opening up the
lymphatic.
body. Yeah, the lymphatic system and the body to push stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a way stimulate it. Just be like, hey, remember you got one of these? You got one of these. You have this part of your body that's capable of doing that. So I see Ronique's there. I'm going to get her in and let's see what she's going to be saying. Rebecca's there. I'm going to get her in too. And so we're going to be working a little bit on Krista and how to get Krista to this future version of herself. So let's just see what's going on. So we talked a little bit about that. Okay, so I'm like father, mother, but I don't really want to go into any of them. I just want to go into the mindset. The mindset. Let's go into the dis-ease that you're feeling. Rebecca, I want you to play the dis-ease for Krista. You look super uncomfortable. Look at you right now. She's like, what the fuck? Yeah, what are you doing?
Driving.
All right, where are you
I feel
going?
like I've been driving all day.
Krista, you hear that, Krista? Driving all fuck day.
All day.
All right, what does that mean?
It's annoying as shit. I just want to go home and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys related?
Yeah, she's my sister.
Okay.
She's my sister. She lives in Florida. Okay, so yeah, you've been driving all day. Where are you coming from? Where?
Well, I did a staycation down by Disney, and it was like 15 minutes away from our house this morning. So I drove back this morning, and then I got in the car, got mom to do a Mother's Day brunch, almost exactly where I left. 45 minutes drive again
So you're
from
just going
where the
back and
hotel
forth,
is.
back and forth.
And then Cullen, I get home finally, and Cullen's like, I want to go to Target. So I got in the car and drove to Target. Now I'm driving home finally.
So Krista, how does that make you feel in your back and forth journey? Like it feels like she was driving from one place, she drove all the way to another place to go back to the same place where she just came from. She's so close to home, right? Like my mom literally lives down the road from her, but then she had to drive all the way back to this 1 hour drive away to drive back again. How does that feel in your healing journey?
Chaotic.
Is that how it's been for you?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like you're almost home, but then something else happens and it kind of makes you regress?
Yeah, it's kind of like a, two-step, or what is it? One step forward, two steps back.
Well, yeah, that's how she felt. She said 45 minutes forward and 45 minutes back.
Back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And where do you really want to be right now, Rebecca? Why did you even choose to go back out when you could have been home?
Because I do it for my kid.
Was it a feeling of guilt? Was it a feeling of need or want or to make them happy? Or like what was the feeling that drove you to go back out again?
Guilt and also wanting to make him happy and have like a little connection with him, just me and him. And Brooks wanted to come, my other son, but Cullen didn't want him to come. He's like, I just need mommy time because I think he's the older one. So I think last night not sleeping with us because he slept at mom's house last night, so that whole like connection wasn't there. So I think he wanted like a little connection, just me and him alone. I don't know if that relates to you.
Krista, how does this relate to you in some way?
Like when she's saying she's feeling guilty, where she has to, she maybe
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
wants.
the feelings that she's feeling.
I push myself quite a bit, even when I'm tired and I know that maybe I should stay home or stay in. I know that there's still other things, like especially with my partner, things that she wants to do. So I give in because I don't want her to completely miss out on certain things that she still loves to do because she's worried about me. Or so I do push to make others happy and to be present in their life too, just like they are mine.
Yeah, because I feel that Rebecca's son, Cullen, does have a very strong role as her partner, not her son. He has a very strong role as a partner, not a son, right?
Feels like the husband.
Yeah, he feels like the husband, like the partner role.
Bossy.
Very, yeah. So that's why that's a very strong feeling, Rebecca, bossy feeling. How is your partner, Krista? Is she bossy?
No, if anything, it's the other way around. She gets a little moody, but I think I have more of a tendency to be controlling than she does.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and Colin, and do you feel like you would have more of a stronger divine masculine energy, obviously, right?
In certain areas, yes.
What about like responsibility for her? Do you feel responsible for her happiness? Do you feel responsible for her in some way? Like, I don't know. I feel like the divine masculine energy sometimes feels very responsible for the other person's happiness, well-being, all of that stuff.
I mean, there is a lot of feelings of guilt because sometimes I feel like my physical restrictions I take away from the things she wants to do, like travel. And she's healthy and young, and we're 7 years apart, so she's naturally got a little bit more energy anyways. And yeah, I have this sense that I'm responsible for her not being able to do all of the things that she really wants to do.
And so, Rebecca, yeah,
It's funny that when I was listening to her talk from the beginning, I was relating to you so much. It was crazy because when you said you had injections in your neck, I have severe neck pain constantly. And the only thing that has stopped it recently, like for years, I've had neck pain. And the only thing that I have done different is I started working out and like lifting weights. And that's the only thing that I don't know how I would never think that would help me.
Yeah.
But that resonated to me. And then also when he said the sweat thing, I go to asana. I go to asana and I sweat all the time. Like, and I work out sometimes in the sauna. Like it's called Hot Works. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Well, I would think of like Bikram yoga as.
Okay.
Yeah, like a hot yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sweating, you sweat a lot, Rebecca, right?
Like drip, and I never really sweat normally, but when I go there, I drip. Like I have to go change my clothes like immediately.
Yeah.
Well, that's a sweating all of toxins.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good way to do that. So so I don't know, like Krista, I want us to be activating your sweat gland. Like this is something, the neck and the sweat gland seems like what we're really working on today. Obviously, that's what Rebecca's confirming with us, that it's the neck and the sweat gland. And her neck has been feeling a lot better recently, and she's saying that she sweats a lot through the movement. And then I wanted to continue diving in a little bit to the fact that Rebecca, something to do with Cullen. It's going to be something to do with Cullen's energy. And and Krista was mentioning that she feels obligated. What do you feel again, Krista? What was the feelings that you said exactly? I just want to go back to it so that we can really work on that. Your feelings towards your partner do you feel guilty?
I feel like I hold her back.
Okay. Okay. And so Rebecca, like acting like you're speaking to Cullen, do you feel Cullen holds you back? Cullen pushes you out of your element.
I feel like I hold Cullen back
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. I don't know. I feel like he wants to always like go to the park or go here or go there and do this, do that. And a lot of times I'm tired or my neck hurts and I don't want to do anything and I just want to like relax, lay on the couch, watch a movie. And he's always like, go, 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 like draw with me. And I'm like, I just got home. So I've been trying to push myself to do that more.
Yeah.
But what was I supposed to do? Talk to her like what? Sorry.
No, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You're doing it. There's no
Okay.
uncertainty in it. So technically you feel like Cullen is actually pulling you then.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So how do I do this? So see, Rebecca's frozen now.
Can you hear
So
me?
do you think that both of you would be the perfect balance between you telling him to take a chill pill and him going all the time?
Well, I was frozen for a second, so I missed that. Sorry.
No, I was asking you, like, do you think that it's okay for you to be like the chill pill and for him to be like the go go go? He's the Red Bull and you're like the
Oh yeah, it's a great balance because and it's good for me too because if he wasn't there, I wouldn't want to go do stuff and like get out, and so he does help me do that.
and
Like
what do
today
you
at
feel
Target,
about
like
that?
I didn't want to go to Target and I went, and I'm glad I went because I needed things.
Yeah. And Krista, what do you feel about that?
That she gets me to move.
And go
Yeah.
outside of your box.
Yeah, even though I'm maybe not feeling the greatest, and she gets me to still push.
We don't want you to willow,
No,
to just
no,
sit on the couch and just eat away,
right.
like just eat or watch TV or just be in this rut.
You know.
Yeah. And sometimes when something pushes you, right, it's not just to push you in just one direction, it's pushing you in many, many different directions in your life,
Yeah,
right? Like Colin hasn't just pushed her to be like doing stuff with him, but also pushes her to be like, go to the gym, go work out, go do a hot sauna, go do this, go do that, go better yourself, go better yourself, go better yourself. Like that's what the push is about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is coming from a place of love in a sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
There he
So
is right there.
yeah, there's a lover man
Right on cue.
who shows love in a very strange and dominating way. Yeah. Kids are very funny. They show love very differently than how we show love. I mean, everybody shows love very differently at the same time. And we're always with the people around us because they're going to help us in some way to activate a better version of ourselves. So if we were to just think about the people that are around us, our children, our partners, how have they activated us to be better human beings? Well, not just human beings, but better energetic beings in some way. All the situations that have happened to us in our past, how has that activated us to be on the journey that we're on right now, right? If all the situations didn't happen, would we be this person right now? We wouldn't, right? Krista wouldn't want to go through um, her healing, like become a healer. Nadia wouldn't be so independent and strong and fantastic and pushing herself to be a better person every day. Ronique wouldn't have found herself, right? Like you found yourself in so many different ways through different experiences, through different people, through heartache. right? If Rebecca wasn't bossed around by a little one all the time, then would she really be being pushed as much as she's being pushed? And being pushed right now is really helping her in her healing journey, right? She's gone to the gym, she's losing weight, her neck is feeling better, she feels better, you know, like that. That's how it works. That's how it works. And our bodies speak to us all the time. Her neck was speaking to her because she needed to fucking turn her head. She needed to go in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Our bodies are always speaking to us. My foot is so numb right now. So my that I need to move because I'm cutting off blood circulation to my foot.
Are you
So
sitting on your foot?
I'm just sitting very uncomfortably for some reason. Again, it's very hard for me to get comfortable. I'm tossed. I feel like I'm tossing and turning, and I'm not very comfortable. Even my bottom feels uncomfortable in this chair. Yeah. So Krista, we're working on. Okay, so we did the sweat glands. Our skin is our first organ of the body. It's our self-defense mechanism. Sweat is removing toxins. If toxins are not being removed, then toxins are building up inside of you. What are other ways that you do to remove toxins?
My diet is a big. I try to. I mean, I don't do it as often as I should, but I try to juice.
Yeah.
But I, throw certain supplements like cilantro and stuff into my smoothies. Try to pull out heavy metals. I do things with my naturopathic doctor. I do like ozone therapy to help put oxygen into my blood and kill viral load. And I do as much as my body allows at this time.
Yeah, but I'm more questioning. I'm more asking, like, your body in a sense, like, all right, if normally we sweat when we want to release toxins, right? We want to release toxins, so we sweat. And toxins are bad things in our body. They're bad. They're not good. They're heavy energy that needs to come out of us. If this heavy energy is not coming out of you through being expelled through sweat, is it being expelled through pee? Is it being expelled through poop? Is it being expelled through tears? How is it actually physically leaving your body?
Well, if you're asking about those things, I'm pretty regular. So I'm hoping that it's at least something is moving.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. And so I want someone to play the role of Krista's toxins that are in her body. Ronique, you seem like you're moving a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Was I already? Because I know I feel bloated already. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Why do you feel bloated? Are you getting your period? Like, what's going on?
I think I just, you just get into a mood where you just have this insatiable appetite for food,
Okay.
and all I want to do is eat.
Eat anything?
Oh my god, not anything, but everything. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's more of a, because before, my diet a couple of years ago was fairly clean,
Yeah.
fairly clean. And it's not that I cut certain things out, but my body rejected it. My body rejected it.
Yeah.
So if I had rice, I couldn't swallow it. If I had bread, it was hard for me to swallow it. I could
So it
not bring
just
it
gets
down.
stuck. Okay.
Like, for some reason, I could not bring it down.
Yeah.
So for a while, I didn't have it. So when I lost a whole bunch of weight and I started to reincorporate certain things back into my diet, it's almost as if I switched. Somebody just flipped a switch, and I just wanted to have all the rice and all the pasta.
Yeah.
But no, it's no. This is the real test for me, because it was easy for me to cut certain things out because it physically affected me when I had it.
Yeah.
So know that it doesn't physically affect me when I have it. It's is to test to see if you can walk away from it.
Okay, so I want to just ask Crystal, like pasta, rice.
Do I eat it?
Yeah, just yeah. What's going on with that? Like she was saying that some foods physically was not capable of eating certain foods. Some foods she could. Like what? How does that resonate? That story to you?
Oh yeah, my menu's pretty limited. I mean, with what I can eat, I try to be as diverse as possible, but there's a lot of things that will get my immune system overactive. So, what's funny is rice is actually one of the few staples is that I can tolerate, and it's just white. So I do try to do like basmati or jasmine has a little bit more nutrients, but I have to stay away from a lot of packaged food, canned food. Otherwise, it just kind of builds up, and then I'm screwed for a few days. So it's difficult
Yeah,
maneuvering.
so it seems like a lot of toxins come through food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or I'm just because of my gut health, it's coming out into my system.
Yeah, it's not like food is not being able to release what the toxins are supposed to go away. If it, like yes, we get bloated a little bit, and then it will go away, or maybe we have like I don't know. Food is not supposed to affect us like that.
No,
It's not like regardless of what you eat, as long as like you bless the food before, yeah, it's not supposed to really. I mean, I don't want to say not supposed to. Like if we have food poisoning, you have food poisoning for a reason. Like everything happens for a reason, right? Normally, if the food is bad, you eat it, it's going to get the fuck out of it. It's like bleh, bleh, get me out, get me out, get me out. We're supposed to be able to stop once we put charcoal and we say, okay, body, I understand. I put something inside of you that was not good, but that's the only way food is not supposed to be good for us. If it's like completely bad. And it's funny because when you're talking about food, Nadia completely shut off. She completely turned off. And I was thinking, I want someone to represent this food because you guys, she's talking about food a lot and you have a problem with food. And I wanted someone to represent food. And Nadia just completely just turned herself off at that moment in time. It's like for some reason, food turned itself off because I wanted her to play the role of food. Maybe she went to go get food. Wouldn't that be so funny if she just came back with like a big bowl of rice?
I'm actually doing my laundry. I'm sorry.
She was doing laundry.
Yeah. So I've been listening when I'm doing my laundry.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
So I've actually recently started taking colostrum for my gut health, and I've noticed a huge difference in my immunity. Like my kids have all been sick, and I, for the first time, have not gotten sick. Like
yeah.
what is going on? Have you tried colostrum?
Well, my niece, she just stopped nursing her baby, and we had talked about maybe me getting some of her breast milk because of the colostrum. I
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's obviously natural. Because I have to be careful with supplements because of the sensitivity, everything's like this,
That's can I just stop you for 1 second? Sorry, Rebecca. This might also help with the cyst in your breast.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know how come because she just mentioned colostrum and she mentioned breast and breast milk. So I don't know how that's created with you, but it's for some reason it's linked.
Maybe. Ooh.
I thought I read something. I mean, breast milk is incredibly healing. People have like eczema and they'll put it on their eyes and it'll take it away.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe rubbing your own breast milk in that area. I don't know.
Oh, but she doesn't have breast milk. She has a cyst, and so I was saying that she mentioned colostrum, and then you mentioned the breast and something another with how it
So
works.
I buy it in like it's in a powder form, and it's cow colostrum.
But yeah,
I just put it in my water and I just drink it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for your gut. I mean, I don't. Usually, when you have a cyst or something, it's the body's trying to close in the area that's having the toxins, or it wants to keep it away from
central area.
Yeah, it creates fibroids. It creates cysts. Castor oil packs over that they sell them specifically for the breast. My friend had one in her breast, and she religious with the castor oil pack, and it shrunk it.
Really?
Yeah.
I sent that to you on your protocol, castor oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
also with brushing and lymph massages in the area.
Massages. Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay, so why don't you see how that breast milk helps?
Well, that sailed. But I had thought about it at the time. She's done breastfeeding, but I don't.
What about milk? What about milk in general? Do you do milk?
No, I can't tolerate dairy. I bring in meat every now and then, but I think it's my stomach's just in a state where it's difficult.
Yeah, I mean, Nadia is off and she's representing food. She's busy doing something else. Understand?
I've had many crying episodes over food.
Yeah, well, she's busy. The food is busy doing something else.
Apparently.
Yeah, like she's folding laundry. She's dealing with something else that needs to be done. Yeah, it's like, and we want food to kind of like be something that's helping you.
Yeah.
Smoking came off. Food disappeared. Well, that's a good thing, I think. I think that's a good thing. We don't want food to be doing something else.
Oh my god. Sorry.
There's a lizard?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe it's because it's scared. If food is scared, that means it's going to be doing something that it's not supposed. It's doing something else. We don't want food to be doing something else. We want food to be helping you. Do you bless your food before you eat it? Like, do you speak intentions into it?
On occasion, not all the time, but when I remember.
Yeah.
It's
Because
prayer. I tell God to let it nourish me. Or
yeah, because I really believe that that's something that really might be a game changer. Because if we're scared of food, if we're scared to eat food, if food is coming from a place of fear or it's from a heavy energy, then it's going to do heavy stuff inside of us. So what happens if we, I don't know, like what would you want to eat? Like if you could eat anything right now and I'm like, all right, Krista, we're going to go to a restaurant. You're going to have anything on the menu. What would you dive into? A cheeseburger?
maybe tacos.
I love tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Not Taco Bell tacos. That shit's nasty.
I
Like
mean,
I'd rather make my tacos than go out and eat tacos because at least I know where the food's kind of coming from and the people who's making it.
my nana's tacos. My nana's used to do everything from scratch, and they were amazing.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens if you were to make your nana's tacos and you were to eat it? What would happen?
I'd probably be pretty inflamed and sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Ronique, how does that make you feel?
Well, sort of the same way because I realize for me, my system gets inflamed anytime I have any dairy. So I've done my best to keep it out of my system as much as possible.
Have you replaced it though?
In a way,
Like if you want to have a latte, would you have like a soy milk latte instead? Yeah, I don't know what
like
it is.
like I don't really have lattes. Really, I'll have like matcha sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll have matcha.
Yeah. What would you put in your matcha tea if you don't put milk? Like what would you?
Almond milk.
Almond milk. That tastes delicious, right?
Yeah, it's okay. Not too bad.
Almond milk.
Raw dairy. I've read some people do better. It's like a whole thing now where people are all about raw dairy and raw milk.
Yeah. I don't know if they I haven't I've heard bits and pieces, but I would have to really and truly do more research into what is raw dairy here and what not in order for me to actually know.
Yeah, a good source. You don't want to get it from just anywhere.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's so hard. I think that's hard to find because the supermarket is so convenient. It's in our routine. To add something new to our routine.
Exactly.
It's very like, oh, another one of these to put in my routine. I have to go somewhere just to buy my milk. I go somewhere just to buy my meat, actually. I don't buy my meat from a supermarket. I buy it from a halal butcher shop that I know the animal was blessed and killed in a very, very clean way and raised in a very, very clean way. So I mean, I go the extra effort to get my meat done by that. So I mean, it's possible to go the extra effort for what we're going to put in. All the intention that we put out is what we want to put in anyways, right? So if I have to go to a different place to buy this, it's also the intention I'm making to go to this place as well for the purpose of this meat is better for me than meat that's just killed, slaughtered, hung, beat, all that stuff. I don't know. So it's just the intentions we also put behind our food that's very important. Blessing our food, changing the vibration of our food before we eat it is very important. I say for my highest intentions only. My highest good, my highest intentions, my highest health only. So if I'm going to have the milk, I'm going to have the milk. Like the milk, I don't believe food should have power over us in a sense where it's always supposed to be for our highest intentions. So if you drink the milk and you say, for my highest intentions, good alignment and health, and I have diarrhea, I'm supposed to have diarrhea. It is what the milk was doing for me.
Mm-hmm.
It is helping me to push that shit out. It is telling me something inside of me is not okay. It's telling me something. It's doing something for me, right? It's not doing something against me. Food should never be against us. What we put in our bodies should never be against us. And that's the intention that we should set, that whatever we put in our bodies, whatever it does, it's trying to tell us something, it's trying to show us something, and it's trying to eliminate something for us in some way. And then you have a different relationship with food. It doesn't become your enemy. And then eventually you love yourself enough to really put good stuff in if I wanted to have today, I ate horribly today. This morning I woke up and for breakfast I had a slice of cake. Is that horribly? No, I fucking wanted to eat cake. I was so happy. I was like eating cake for breakfast. And you know what I had for lunch after that? Big thing of macaroni and cheese, homemade macaroni and cheese, followed by ice cream with a hot fudge brownie on top of it.
I had calamari and a burrito bowl.
And I had my dessert before I had my lunch. I was like, I'm a grown up. I feel like eating ice cream and this. I'm a grown up. I'm going to eat this first. And I ate that first. And then I ate my macaroni and cheese. I actually ate them at the same time. I was like, this could taste good together. I actually was double fisting in my bed watching a movie with two things in my thing. Like, I like that taste. So
now you're making me want gelato.
There's
a gelato place up the street from me. No, you're making me crave gelato.
Yes, we should be able to just eat whatever we want with no guilt associated to it, with nothing attached associated with it, to have a good relationship with it. I didn't eat dinner when it was time to eat dinner, and that's okay. If I wasn't hungry, I don't eat. If I'm not hungry, I don't eat. And if I'm hungry and I know I'm not hungry, I'm probably thirsty, right? We have to listen to our bodies, and we have to have a good communication without guilt. Like if I want to eat the chocolate cake or the whatever cake, I'm going to eat it with no guilt. I'm going to say, hey, body, I love you. Let's have this. Let's binge on it for a little bit. No problem. Tomorrow I'll eat carrots and salad and everything because I like to eat very healthy as well. But it's balance.
Yeah. Everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Today I definitely ate everything I wanted to eat.
Yeah.
Everything in moderation.
If you're going to eat everything you want to eat, exercise.
That's very true.
Exercise. That's okay. Eat everything you want to eat, but exercise.
Because anytime I feel as if, because usually for me, the glass ceiling is when I feel as if my thighs are getting bigger. Because that is when I feel as if I'm putting on weight in my thighs.
Yeah.
Because when I put on a pair of jeans that where the thighs didn't usually rub and they start rubbing.
Yeah.
That is my cue to lay off whatever I'm eating and just.
It's how your body communicates.
Exactly. Through my thighs.
Through your thighs. It's rubbing together and it says
very, very, very special like that.
The scale is a little bit unbalanced right now if we're rubbing against each other.
Oh yeah, yep. This is okay. Yep. It says
Fire. It puts the fire underneath you.
Anytime the fire start to rub, say yep.
Yeah.
It's time to lay off lay off the nice food because I love nice food.
Yeah.
But even then, what I think from me, what I'm learning now is not only how to communicate with my body, but to be at peace with my body.
Yeah. I think that's very important, is to love your body the way that it is in order for your body to go to the place where you want it to go to. Yeah, it's healing happens very backwards. We heal from the inside
I
out,
don't.
right? Just like a cut. You cut yourself, you're going to heal from the inside out. So for some reason, in order to heal from the inside, we have to first love who we are right now. So do we love who we are right now? Krista, you love yourself. Rebecca, you love yourself. Ronique, you love yourself. You love who you are right now in this moment in time. Do you love yourself?
I love myself.
Krista?
I do. Yeah, a lot more than I used to, for sure.
I think I'm slowly learning to more. I think when I had the kids, I think it got not separated, but it just changed back up. And Q, they just opened the door and came out.
You put him in the foreground and then he had to go back into the background.
Mhm.
And here's the other one.
Mommy,
Yeah.
mommy,
So now you've kind of
mommy.
it's starting
Have
to
you
find
seen-
yourself.
Yeah.
Mommy, have you seen my Minecraft? Blanca.
You know
Hi.
that
Minecraft short?
when Eva was talking about her dream and
Yeah.
about the tattoo on the forearm and a
Yeah.
scripture, I have a scripture on my forearm, and it just
What the full fuck circle is this?
Wait, what? I missed that. What?
I got on right when she was talking about it. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
earlier Eva came on and she was saying she had a dream that she had a tattoo on her forearm with a scripture. What's your scripture say?
It's Isaiah 55, 8 and 9.
And you know what kind of stuff? I was going to tell her to read Isaiah. I was going to tell her to read Isaiah because I read Isaiah today.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
That's crazy.
Even my mom dreamt about Isaiah.
No way.
She dreamt about a particular scripture. I need to go look back on it.
So let's go. Let's see. What does it say, Krista?
It says, "My thoughts and my ways are not like yours. Just as the heavens are higher than the earth, my thoughts and my ways are higher than yours."
And we were talking about ways today.
Yeah. And you talked about being made in God's image because that's what the scripture is about. That's how for me, it's like a dual, it's a reminder that we don't always know what God is doing. Sometimes we think we want certain things, but he has other plans, or he's teaching you something at the moment we don't understand because obviously he's above us. But then I like to think of it as in, if we're made in his image, if people make the mistake of thinking that another person thinks exactly the same way you do. And you're an individual, so everybody's different. I don't know.
And food just came right back on.
I was messaging you because I didn't know what happened.
I don't know. Food needed to come off for a second, and then food needed to come back on with those
We
scriptures.
needed a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's amazing, Krista, that you have that written on you.
Did you just say scriptures in her arms?
Yeah.
Because that's what Ava had about her
This is
dream.
crazy.
Remember her mom had
This
the.
is so crazy. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
Like, we can't make this stuff up. This always blows my mind every single time.
And look at what the scripture says. My ways are not your ways.
And we're talking all about hamburgers and path, and food came up now.
Uh-huh.
And food just came back on.
And Brooksy's shoving food in my mouth. Brooksy's shoving food in my mouth. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Somebody's shoving food in Rebecca's face.
Eat the food, Rebecca. Eat the food. This is what it's about. We want Krista to eat the food.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you all for joining tonight. This was amazing.
Say something, Bianca.
Oh, thank you, Brooksy, for feeding us. You represented a baby food. And we were talking about baby milk and all that stuff. I don't know. It all came around full circle. So I love how this always comes around for us. So quantum leaping into the future with you. We've already seen it. We've already know how it feels. We've already experienced it. We've pulled the cords from the past that have stopped us from getting to that version of ourselves, whether it was our relationship with a partner, with a parent, with food, with even ourselves. And yeah, live long and prosper.
Mm-hmm.
How does everybody feel?
Good.
Great.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds.
Yes, I am. Me too. I don't know if Krista is going to start eating everything. I don't know if she's going to start just feeling a lot more energized and having faith in her journey. That's what it's all about. Ronique, I don't know what your future looks like, but you know.
Let's see ding dong. Let's see. Ding dong.
She's just waiting for the ding dong. She's just waiting for that ding dong.
Yeah, the same thing. I was like, who is it?
But it played a beautiful role for you and Nadia's journey. I don't know where Nadia's journey takes her. You know, like I don't like to look into the future I don't like to tell people their future. I like to go into the future with them. And our role tonight was to just remove the things that were blocking us from going into the future that we want. So I don't know what the future is. You guys have that in mind. And what was the scripture again about the way?
You want me to read it again?
Yeah, please.
Okay. It's my thoughts and my ways are not like yours, just as the heavens are higher than the earth. My thoughts and my ways are higher than yours.
Yeah. So we're going into a higher dimension. So whatever that dimension is, just trust wherever the future is that you're going, you're going into a higher version of yourself. Because the whole idea is for our evolution is to go up, right? To become higher, to be in heaven on earth.
Mm-hmm. And just trust that is your path.
Mm-hmm.
Trust that is your path, and wherever it leads, that is what you're meant to learn. That's how you're meant to grow. That was assigned to you. That was destined for you. So just take it all in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why certain things are placed in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is heaven on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Whatever that looks like for you. So
100%.
welcome to heaven.
Yay.
Thank you, everybody.
That was the objective. So yeah, I love this for a Sunday night because we have a whole week ahead of us that we are stepping into in heaven right now. So take this vibration with you, all the healing vibes towards you, all the light energy towards you, and move like you're already in heaven.
For sure.
Have a gelato.
Yeah.
Take a picture and tag me in your gelato so I can share with everyone. And however you're stepping into heaven this week, please tag me in it so I can share with everyone as well. I'm very selective on who my page has on there because I want high vibe people. I want people who have good eye. We call it ain in Arabic, the evil eye. I want good energy and good. Yep, there you go. She has it right there. That's what my page is all about.
I have them everywhere. Yeah, I have a bigger one for bigger vibes.
There we go. Just so That's what it's all about. It's about putting the good energy towards you. We don't want any of the bad energy coming towards you through people's thoughts, because people's thoughts are really powerful. And sometimes when we share things with people and they have a negative vibe towards it, it can hinder our journey. But the same thing can happen by sharing with the right people.
100%.
The right people can definitely push your dreams and your realities to come forward and help you to go into places. That's why I'm like, if you have a problem with someone in your relationship, let me know. Let's talk about it, right? Because I'm not judging. I'm not coming from a place of judgment. I'm not coming from a place of jealousy or guilt or envy or greed or anything like that. I'm coming from a place where I want you to be a better person. I want your life to be whatever you want it to be. So good people are hard to find, but amazing to keep. So I'm so happy we have this group tonight. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for
Yay.
holding space for each other, and have a good one.
Have a nice week, everyone. Good day. Bye-bye.
Mwah!
Thank you all for tuning in. It was an amazing and fantastic time with this wonderful group of people. I look forward to joining in again, probably next Sunday. I think I love having this on a Sunday for us all to dive in together and to really just take an hour and a half, 2 hours of just diving into your energy space, where you want to go, where have you been, what has been holding you back, the heavy energies that are there. Sometimes we don't even know why they're there, and it just starts to make sense as this whole thing unfolds. So thank you all for tuning in. Talk to you later. Bye.